everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you're ready for some yoga. Today we're going to do a little power flow, but we're going to mix in some holds, some deeper stretches. That way we can engage both parts of that nervous system to try to stay balanced. So when you are ready, go ahead and find a comfortable seat. We're going to begin with just a brief breathing exercise, hopefully something that can help you through the practice, but also just throughout your everyday life as well. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Try to sit up nice and tall here. As we do so, as we find good posture, it just helps that breath flow a little bit easier in and out of the body. So see if we can bring those shoulders over those hips and the ears above those shoulders. Now, feel free to take a minute or two to move around a little bit as you settle in. Sometimes I know it's hard to go from whatever you have been doing just to stillness right away. So do whatever you need to do, but as you find your seat here, when you're ready to find some stillness, maybe try closing those eyes or just find a gentle gaze down at the floor. And just allow yourself a moment to let the mind wander. We constantly have thoughts running in and out of our mind. We're often trying to ignore some of those thoughts, or oftentimes those thoughts just naturally take us away without us realizing it. So just give yourself some time here as we begin to just kind of watch as those thoughts come into the mind and allow them to go right back out again. And if you find that one thought or another tends to take your attention away, just whenever you notice that happening, try to find the breath. The breath is something that is not easy to focus on because it's not very exciting, right? Our breath is kind of boring. But the more we practice bringing that focus back to our breath, the easier it will be to find the breath when we need it. And the more we'll be able to notice, not only noticing the breath, but everything that surrounds it getting to that point. So in order to help us find our breath or stay with that breath a little bit better, we're going to try to engage our ujjayi breath, or some call it the whisper breath. So let's take a few breaths together as we start to find this breath. So just finishing your next breath out. And then on your inhale, try breathing in through the nose. And then nice and long out through the mouth. Just sigh it out. So again, in through the nose. And as you breathe out, try to create that sound like you make when you're fogging up a mirror. 3 more times like that. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Try to listen for the sound of your own breath. 2 more breaths like that in through the nose. Making it a little bit louder. And once more like that. Try to pay attention to where you feel the breath coming out of the mouth, out of the throat. And then for the next few breaths, we're going to try to keep that same sound, but with our mouth closed. So when you're ready, in through the nose, and out through the nose. I'm not sure if you can hear my breath through the camera, but try a few times, trying to create that same sound, but with the mouth closed. So it's almost like a little restriction through the back of the throat as you press the air out of the throat and then out of the nose. Let's try 3 more breaths here. Listening for that sound, feeling the air as it moves out through the throat, through the nose. Maybe even slightly engaging that belly as you exhale to help press that air out a little bit more. And 1 more breath like that. Come back to your natural breath, or you can stay with that Ujjayi breath if you'd like. Either way, we'll try to come in and out of that a few times throughout the practice. So let's stay seated just for a few more moments, but if those legs are crossed, go ahead and cross the other leg in front or on top. If you're on your knees or wherever you're at, feel free to stay there. Once again, just trying to find a nice tall spine. Let's just bring our hands to the front of those legs or tops of those thighs if you're on the knees or on a chair. We're just going to move through a few seated cat and cows. So on our next inhale, just lifting nice and tall through the heart, rolling those shoulders down the back and slightly turning that gaze up towards that corner where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then on the breath out, we're going to round those shoulders forward, drawing the belly in, tucking in through those hips. And then feel free to move with your breath. Inhaling as we lift through the heart, reaching the belly, the chest forward, and exhale as we draw in through the belly, chin comes towards the chest. Inhaling as you rise, shoulders draw down the back. Exhaling as we round it out. Let's go 3 more times here. Maybe you stay and hold somewhere along the way if that feels better than another. Or you can continue to move with your breath. And one more time. Inhaling as we lift and rise. Exhaling, softening, rounding through the back. All right, go ahead and come back to that neutral spine, sitting up nice and tall. And next breath in, let's reach those arms out and up. Connecting the hands at the top and exhaling, hands to our heart center. Maybe we touch our thumbs to our heart. And inhale, let's reach those hands back up. On the exhale, as you reach out, try to reach back behind you as well. And then down towards the floor, starting to open through those shoulders even more. So inhaling as we reach up. Exhaling, hands to your heart. Feel those thumbs connect with the chest. And then inhaling as the arms reach back up. Exhaling, out and down. Maybe take a few shoulder rolls here. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and come forward. Go ahead and bring those hands to the mat, uncrossing those legs. We're going to make our way back just into an extended child's pose. So let's tuck our toes here, beginning to reach our hips back towards the heels, and then extend those arms forward. Walking them forward as far as you can, reaching in 2 directions. Forward through the fingertips, back through those hips. Take a moment to find your breath. And then try to stay nice and long through those arms and through the spine as we begin to just lift those hips up towards the ceiling, finding our downward dog. It might be your first downward dog of the day, so just take a breath or 2 here. Maybe walk out those heels. Just bending one knee towards the mat and then the other. And then as you relax both heels towards the floor, on that next breath in, let's shift our weight forward into a plank, bringing shoulders right above those wrists. Try to keep that belly lifted away from the floor. And then on the breath out, we're going to engage that belly and lift those hips back up to our downward dog. So let's move with our breath. Inhaling forward to our plank. Exhale, engaging the core as we reach those hips back and up. Couple times here. Beginning to wake up those shoulders. Wake up through the core. Moving with that breath. And then next time you inhale and come forward to plank, we're going to add a little yoga push-up. So we bend those elbows just a little bit, elbows staying along the sides. Inhale back up to your plank, and exhaling downward dog. Couple times here. Inhaling plank. Exhaling a little push-up. Inhaling back up. Exhaling hips lift. Just moving with your breath. You can always do this on the knees. Same thing, just tuck those toes, maybe reach back to child's pose instead of your downward dog. 2 more times. Moving and breathing. And then next time you inhale forward to your plank, go ahead and lower to those knees and exhale all the way down to the chest and the belly. Let's slide those arms forward and come onto those elbows. So elbows are underneath those shoulders, palms on the floor. Big starfish hands, so try to create a little more space in between those fingers. Nice deep breath in. So we lift through the crown of the head, our gaze is just straight ahead, or maybe slightly down at the floor. And on the breath out, try to engage through that lower belly, lifting it up away from the floor. Inhaling as the heart reaches forward. Exhaling as the shoulders draw down the back. One more breath here. And on that next breath out, go ahead and lower all the way back down to the chest, bringing those hands underneath those shoulders. Inhaling as we lift up to those knees, and exhaling, hips reach back. 3 breaths in our child's pose. Maybe try to find your Ujjayi breath once again as you breathe in through the nose, and out through the nose, out through the throat, out through the nose. Try to create that sound. Awesome, and then when you're ready, extending those arms forward if they're not already there. Let's just walk both hands over to the right side, leaning those hips over to the left. Get a nice stretch through the side body. And then we'll inhale, arms walk back through center, and then we'll walk those hands over to the left, gently leaning those hips over to your right. And then slowly walking those hands back to the center, reaching forward through the fingertips. Slowly begin to lift the toe, or lift the hips, tucking the toes. And then lifting the knees and the hips all the way up, downward facing dog. Okay, on our next inhale, we're going to lift our right leg, reaching it up. Doesn't have to be very high, just try to reach back through those toes as you lift up through the heel. And on our exhale, we're going to bend our right knee, drop towards that right elbow. Inhale, we're going to lift it back up. And exhaling, bringing that knee towards the left elbow. Inhaling as we lift the leg, and exhale to the right. Once more, inhale as we lift, and exhaling to the left. Inhale, lifting that leg back up, and then exhale, we're going to step that right foot forward. Helping that ankle forward as needed. Just try to walk those toes forward until the ankle comes right below the knee. All right, grounding down into this front heel. On an inhale, let's slowly rise. All the way up to a high crescent lunge. Again, just check out this front knee. We want it either behind or right above the ankle. Not going past. Okay, as we pause here, finding your breath, in through the nose, and out through the nose or the mouth, if you need to release a little extra heat. And then we're going to move. Inhale, let's straighten both legs. Exhaling, elbows bend, cactus arms as we bend both knees. So just hover this back knee over the floor. Inhaling as we lift, maybe hands touch at the top. Exhaling, try to drop those shoulders as well. Inhaling as we rise. Exhaling, cactus arms into that lunge. One more time with that breath. Inhaling up. Exhaling as we pause right here in this lunge. Engaging those arms, opening through the shoulders. Maybe that gaze slightly turns up again. See if we can hold for 2 more breaths. Maybe try to find that Ujjayi breath. And then next breath in, go ahead and lift all the way up. And exhaling, we'll lower both hands to the floor. Left knee can lower to the floor. Untucking those toes. And we'll bring our right hand to our knee. Slowly just heel toe that right foot out to the side of your mat. Now the left hand can stay on the floor. If you have a block or something, you can bring it underneath that left hand as well. But as we inhale, try to reach the chest forward. Try to reach that left hip forward. And then on the exhale, slowly turning to the right side. Finding a little twist in our lunge here. Now a couple options, you can stay right here, or you can roll onto the pinky toe edge of that front foot and open the knee and the hip to the side. You can extend your arm up if you like, or you can reach back behind you towards your toes. Maybe even bend that knee and reach for your foot. Lots of options. 3 more breaths as we hold here. Maybe try closing those eyes. And just notice what the body is saying, what you feel. If you want to move, if you want to adjust. Maybe we find the breath. 1 more full breath here. And then go ahead and slowly bring that knee and our foot back to center. Both hands can come to the floor. Tucking the left toes, lifting the left knee, and we'll step this right foot back to our downward dog. Again, feel free to walk out those heels. Maybe move those hips side to side. And then next breath in, we're going to lift our left leg. Reaching it back and up. Engaging through both legs here. 1 more breath in as we lift up that heel a little bit higher. And then on the breath out, we're going to bend that left knee, bring it towards that left elbow. Inhaling as we reach it back up. Exhale, bringing that knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, lifting it back up. Once more each side, exhaling to the left. Inhale as you reach up. Exhaling to the right. And inhaling up. Next breath out, let's step that left foot to the front. Walking those toes forward or helping that ankle forward. And then as we get set up in that lunge, that back heel is lifted. Always an option to lower down to the knee. But let's ground down into this front heel as we slowly rise all the way up. Relaxing through those shoulders. Arms are nice and strong. Maybe even those pinkies are spiraling in. But those shoulders can stay nice and soft. Check in to find your breath. And then that next breath in, let's straighten both legs. Reaching up as high as we can. And then on the breath out, both knees bend, elbows bend, shoulders drop. Inhale as we lift and rise. Exhale, try to reach those elbows behind the body. Inhale as we lift. Exhale, opening through the heart. 1 more time as we inhale and rise. Whoop. And exhale, bending and pausing right here. With both knees bent, can always lower down to that back knee. I know my legs are shaking. Let's find that Ujjayi breath. 3 breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Breathing however is comfortable for you, but that Ujjayi breath can really help calm things down through the body, through the mind. Next breath in, go ahead and lift all the way back up. And exhale, we'll lower both hands to the floor, lowering that right knee to the floor, untucking those toes. Let's keep our right hand on the floor. Left hand can come to that left knee. And then just slowly heel toe or step that left foot out toward the side or the edge of your mat, so away from the body. Nice deep breath in as you reach forward through the heart. Reach that right hip forward. And then exhale, maybe we turn towards that left knee. Feel free to keep your foot flat on the floor, or you can roll onto the pinky toe edge of that front foot. Allowing that knee, that hip to open. Maybe you reach your arm up or back towards your foot. 3 more breaths here wherever you are holding. Try to feel that breath as it moves in through the nose and out through the throat and the nose. And then go ahead and slowly bring the knee, the foot back to center. Both hands find the floor. Tuck in those left or the right toes, lifting the right knee. Go ahead and step all the way back to that downward dog. And then on our next breath in, let's come forward to our plank. Lowering to those knees, exhaling, elbows bend all the way down to the chest and the belly. Once again, we're going to lift onto those forearms, but maybe this time our hands come out toward the corners of our mat. So elbows are still underneath the shoulders, but hands are coming out diagonally. Now we can stay right here just like we did before as you reach forward through the chest, lifting through the crown of the head. And those shoulders draw down and back. Or to take it a little bit further, you can press into those fingertips, lifting the elbows and the forearms off the mat. Wherever you're at though, really try to keep those shoulder blades reaching toward one another. 2 more breaths here. And on that next breath out, go ahead and lower all the way down. Maybe bring those hands together out in front and just rest your forehead on those hands. Giving yourself a moment to relax or soften through those shoulders, through the chest, through the belly. Just allowing everything to relax onto the mat. About 3 more breaths here. And when you feel ready, bring those hands back underneath those shoulders. On the inhale, lifting up to those knees. Exhaling as those hips reach back. And then inhaling, we're just going to lift our right arm up. Reaching up towards the ceiling, maybe turn that gaze up to those fingertips as well. And then exhale as we reach that right hand down and underneath the left arm, walking it all the way out to the side as far as you can. Left arm's reaching forward, right arm's walking out to the side. Your head can hover over the floor, or it can relax on the floor. Another option would be to keep those hips over those knees, keeping them lifted here. Sometimes that's a little more comfortable on the knees. As you breathe in, slowly unwinding, bring both arms out in front. And then next breath in, let's lift our left arm, reaching those fingertips up, looking up towards the ceiling. And then exhaling as that left hand comes down, walking it underneath the right arm, all the way out to the side as far as you can. Both arms are extended. As the mind starts to wander, try to bring that awareness or that focus back to the breath. Next breath in, as you feel ready, go ahead and unwind, bring both arms forward. And then we'll just walk those hands up. And we'll just bring those hands behind the body, fingers pointing in. Nice deep breath in as we lift through the heart. And exhale as we drop those shoulders down and back. And then slowly softening, relaxing, just coming back to a neutral spine here. You can stay on your knees or you can swing those feet around to the front as you have a seat. Now, if you have a few moments, feel free to pause this, lay down onto your back, and just set your timer for about 5 minutes, giving yourself a nice shavasana where you can just lay, let the body, the mind absorb everything that it's just done, and practice focusing on that breath. But otherwise, we will wrap things up. So go ahead and find a nice tall spine, and on that next breath in, Let's reach those arms up, and then slowly breathing out through the nose as those hands lower to your heart. One more breath together. Let's take a breath in through the nose, and then nice and long out through the mouth. Thanks for joining me today. Great to have you as always. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.